Provo City Council voted unanimously in favor of an ordinance that will put more restrictions on local towing companies. The amended ordinance puts more requirements in place for the administration property owners and tow companies have. So they must either have to have a request made by the property owner before they can tow or boot, or they have to have a contract with the property owner or company to freely check illegally parked cars. But this is not enough. Property owners must not be allowed to sign contracts with these towing companies if they desire to be BYU approved housing.
Hey brother, what happened?
I got booted last night.
You got booted? Freak, dog? Dang. How much is that gonna cost you?
About $60.
60 bucks? Are you kidding? That's a joke. Oh my gosh. Man, when are they gonna come and take that boot off?
They said roughly 30-45 minutes.
30 to 45? You have to wait? You have to wait out here?
That's what they say.
Oh man, dude. I'd be pissed.
You have no idea.
Freak, man. Well, I gotta go to work, but good luck with that, man.
Thanks, I'll be waiting here.
That was one of the many unfortunate towing stories that happen every day all around Provo. As you saw, there are a lot of negatives associated with towing. First, booting companies use the current law of freely checked too openly. Some towing companies have been heard of offering incentives for employees to boot or tow cars. These employees have been on the prowl looking for any car out of place. That is not only illegal, but has also made the term freely checked into a predatory hunt for misplaced cars. Second, the costs are way too high, especially for poor college students who can barely pay tuition, rent, and food. And lastly, waiting until the company shows up is a complete inconvenience to the person being booted, especially for their menial offense.
There are many myths and stories about booting and towing. Here are the top 3 myths. Myth number 1. All towing companies in Provo are bad. Fact. There are legitimate towing companies out there that want to get rid of these other bad companies, just like everyone else, because it is making them look bad. Myth number 2. Towing eliminates people from parking where parking is not permitted. Fact. When parking in a place that is not permitted, the felon is not always caught. Therefore, they will continue to park there until they are fined. Myth number 3. Apartment complexes and businesses get paid in kickback when you get towed. Fact. Contracts between towing companies and property management cannot, by law, include any monetary exchange. Transfer of funds is a third-degree felony.
To conclude, we argue that these predatory towing and booting security companies still pose a major financial threat to college students like us. We argue that their tactics are often both unfair and unethical, and that while we appreciate the efforts of Mayor Curtis and the Provo City Council to make a change, we argue that this change has not gone far enough. We propose 2 solutions, both of which we feel as though would go a long way toward improving this problem.
Proposal number 1.
Provo City Council should change the city ordinance, which still currently allows for towing companies under contract with property owners to freely check for parking violations. This language is vague and ripe for abuse, and should be altered so that freely checking is done away with completely.
Proposal number 2.
BYU has set forth several stipulations that property owners must meet in order for their properties to qualify as BYU-approved housing. We propose that BYU add a new stipulation. In order to qualify for approved housing, property owners must refrain from signing contracts with these towing and booting companies. This will provide a strong incentive for property owners to avoid business with these predatory entities. We strongly believe that both of these proposals would go a long way in helping to alleviate the problems caused by predatory booting companies. Please support our proposals and help give these companies the boot.